Hi world, it's Casey again, and today is day 21 of our 30-day challenge. Today we're talking about our very first car. My very first car was a Penny Brown Chevette, um, 4-speed, standard shift, and no air conditioning. And I live in Texas, Austin, so you know how hot I must have been. Um, my dad made me take the driving test in that car because he was saying if I can't drive it well enough to pass the test, then I shouldn't be driving it. I don't know why he was such a stickler for rules for me, but it was always kind of gray area when it came to him. Whatever, I guess that's parenting. I paid $500 for that car. I bought it myself. And while I was working to get the money to buy that car, I would walk to work. And if my dad was available and felt like it, he would give me a ride. But most often, I walked to work. And that was about 2 or 3 miles, mostly along the highway. Pretty dangerous, but I wanted a car, so that's what I did. And when I finally got my license, the first thing I did, my sisters and I just drove around because when my parents got divorced, my dad got custody of us, and he bought a two-seater car with three girls at home. He bought a two-seater chick magnet. So there weren't a whole lot of, or there weren't any trips, family trips, vacations, going shopping together, going to dinner, going around the block. There was none of that. Um, if we went anywhere, it was always just one of us and my dad. Um, I talked about it before, but there was one time when I was stuffed in the back seat of my dad's car, and he took a turn really, really sharp, and the plants that were in the back with me spilled all over me, and he was all worried about the plants and not me. But whatever. My dad has grown up a lot since then too. We actually have a really good relationship. But my Chevette, that car took me everywhere. Like I said, it was a standard shift car, and um, one time I was on my way out to a party or something like that, and I was just getting off of work. So I changed my entire outfit down to my undies while driving the standard shift car. Never stalled. um, and the ending of that car, I was down on 6th Street, or on my way to 6th Street, with my boyfriend at the time, and it just stopped. We stopped at a gas station, I believe, to get gas. And when I cranked it again, it wouldn't turn over. It was a loud blip, and then it never turned over again. And so this was way back in the day, back in the olden days before cell phones and all of that. And for some reason, we didn't have a landline, but I did call my dad at his work number and left a message to let him know that I was okay and what was going on, where my car was located, and let him know that this was like a legit thing that was going on. Ended up, we lived in the north part of Austin, about 20 miles outside of the city center. And my boyfriend at the time lived about 10 minutes south of Austin. So we took a taxi to his house, and his mom was there. Everything was cool and legit. And I was not able to get in contact with my dad. I kept leaving messages on his work phone, and they didn't have a landline either. I don't really remember the details, but I kept on calling to let my dad know that I was okay, and that I'm trying to get home and all of that. And I think I finally was able to call him. Maybe it was over the weekend, and then on Monday when he was at work, I contacted him. I'm not really sure how I got back to my side of town. I think maybe It seems like I would have taken a taxi or something like that, and my dad paid for it on, on the receiving end. And then I got into so much trouble. I was grounded from my car for 2 months, and I lived 2 miles away from my high school where I was going to school at the time. And so I had to walk past my own car in my driveway and walk back and forth to school 2 miles, just like I did before I had the car. But it was somewhat of an insult because I couldn't have prevented that. I mean, I did everything responsible that I could to let my dad know that I was okay and to handle the situation. My dad just wasn't hearing it. So um, I was without my car for 2 months, and it was like $600, $700, something like that, to fix it. Because what happened was my dad never told me about changing oil or checking the oil or maintaining a car. So the car was bone dry, and something happened to the piston, stuck in the engine. I don't even know. Blew a piston, I think is what they called it. Whatever. It was really expensive to fix it, and I wasn't able to afford that. I mean, I was, in high school, and I only paid $500 for the car. But anyway, that's what happened to my baby, my first car. Um, Good memories in there, but it was super hot, super hot. Anyway, that's my story. I will see you guys on day 22. Have a good one.